The movie opens with a young man named John, who asks his buddy Slow to get ready so they can meet their other friends at the beach. The plan is simple: play basketball, hang out, and enjoy the day. After the game wraps up, everyone else heads home. But John and Slow choose to stay behind, spending more time together. Slow then suggests they explore the opposite side of the river, curious to see the elegant houses and the wealthy lifestyle of the people living there. Coming from a poor neighborhood themselves, the two have no idea how to cross. Their chance arrives when they notice someone leaving a boat unattended at the shore. Without much thought, they take it and paddle across. Once they reach the other side, John and Slow marvel at their palatial homes and luxurious lifestyle. While exploring, they notice a group of young people swimming and diving. Suddenly, one diver accidentally lands on a little girl, causing her to panic and struggle in the water. Without hesitation, John leaps in to rescue her, while Slow maneuvers the boat to help bring her out safely. The girl is Patricia. They take Patricia back to her father, Frank, who is overwhelmed with gratitude. He invites John and Slow into his home so John can change into dry clothes. Inside, the boys are stunned by the opulence. While Frank takes Patricia upstairs, John waits in the living room and soon meets Elizabeth, Frank's older daughter. Elizabeth seems taken aback to see strangers in her home, but Frank quickly explains what happened. After giving John dry clothes, Frank insists on driving both boys back home. The following morning, Frank and Elizabeth welcome Elizabeth's grandmother, who comes to stay with them. During breakfast, the grandmother pressures Elizabeth about which university she plans to attend, pushing her toward a specific school. Elizabeth becomes visibly upset, and Frank steps in to defend his daughter's right to choose her own path. He also drops the bombshell that he plans to sell their grand home, so thing his mother strongly opposes. Meanwhile, John's life looks very different. At home, his stepfather ridicules him after learning he has applied to a drama school. John's mother, however, supports him wholeheartedly, reminding him of his talent and encouraging his decision. Though he tries to stay positive, his stepfather's words sting deeply. Not long after, John meets up with his friends and learns they are planning a burglary. Their target: Frank's house. Slow pushes the idea, reminding them of the wealth he witnessed there. John objects, insisting Frank is a good man who doesn't deserve it. But unable to stop them, John reluctantly goes along. When they sneak into Frank's mansion, Slow suggests John stay outside as a lookout if he doesn't want to participate. John refuses, following them inside. As the group begins stealing valuables, John wanders into Elizabeth's room, looking at her belongings and photographs. His thoughts are interrupted when Slow barges in with a gun he found in Frank's office. John urges him to put it back, but Slow refuses. Their argument is cut short when Frank and his daughters return home. Sensing danger, the boys flee before being spotted. Frank quickly notices signs of the break-in and discovers the missing gun, prompting him to call the police. The next day, John receives good news: his drama school application has been accepted. Soon after, he starts attending classes. On his very first day, he is shocked to see Elizabeth in the same classroom. His heart resists part nerves, part excitement. After class, he approaches her, and she recognizes him as Patricia's savior. Though John senses a deep sadness in her, he doesn't pry. Later, another student explains that Elizabeth lost her mother just a few months ago, which explains her withdrawn demeanor. That evening, both John and Elizabeth end up searching for each other on social media. Patricia, thrilled about the connection, encouraged Elizabeth to invite John to her upcoming birthday party. Back at John's house, tension with his stepfather boils over again. His stepfather offers money to keep him out of trouble, which angers John even more. Later at school, Elizabeth is scolded by a professor, prompting her to storm out. John follows her, trying to comfort her about her mother's passing, but Elizabeth lashes out. The next day, he apologizes. She accepts, even inviting him to Patricia's birthday party. At the party, John congratulates Patricia and later spends quiet time with Elizabeth in her room away from the chaos. It becomes clear she's growing fond of him, and they plan to go out together the following day. But that night, John returns home to find his mother in tears. His stepfather has left her. Elizabeth, meanwhile, is unable to meet John as planned because Frank insists she stay home. Instead, she calls John, asking him to visit. John agrees, but his friends pressure her into going out instead. Against her better judgment, she sneaks out leaving Patricia at home, and spends the evening with John and his crew. Later, by the poolside, Frank unexpectedly comes home. John hides underwater to avoid being caught, eventually slipping away unseen. In the following days, John and Elizabeth grow closer, going to parties together. At one party, Slow lends John an expensive watch to wear. When the two leave, they are ambushed by thieves. John refuses to hand over the watch until the attackers strike Elizabeth and threaten her life. Fearing for her, he finally surrenders it. Furious, Elizabeth blames John and cuts him off. Frank intervenes, ordering John to stay away from his daughter. Elizabeth, however, refuses to obey blindly. Though angry, she admits her feelings for John haven't disappeared. Frank tried to convince her otherwise, warning that John's background in the slums makes him dangerous, and the robbery wasn't a mere coincidence. Days passed with Elizabeth absent from school, prompting John to visit her at home secretly. There, he apologizes and confesses his love. Elizabeth, despite everything, reciprocates. The two officially become a couple. Trouble resurfaces when Slow demands his stolen watch back. John explains what happened, but Slow explodes in anger, revealing that the watch was crucial for repaying a deadly debt. To help, John suggests stealing expensive equipment from the university's studio. They carry out the heist successfully, but soon after, Elizabeth receives a puzzling message from John. He tells her she deserves better and that he cannot stay with her. Her confusion grows when she learns about the stolen studio equipment and realizes only John's small circle could have known about the hidden ceiling entrance. Still, she tries to convince herself it is coincidence until her father shows her security footage of John and his friends robbing the house. Frank admits he spared John from the police out of gratitude for saving Patricia, but the evidence is undeniable. Heartbroken, Elizabeth spirals back into depression. Meanwhile, John's world collapses further. Slow, chased by criminals over his unpaid debts, is shot dead in front of John. Devastated, John takes Frank's stolen gun, intent on revenge. But before he can act, his other friend contacts Elizabeth, hoping she can stop him. Elizabeth rushes to the scene only to find police already there. She learns John called him himself at the last moment, choosing to confess instead of becoming the killer. The authorities arrest a criminal who murdered Slow, but also take John into custody for possessing the weapon. In a dramatic act of love, Elizabeth blocks the police car with a motorcycle, refusing to move when they attempt to push her away. She insists on being arrested alongside John. Her plan is clear. By sharing his fate, she hopes to force her father to use his wealth and influence to free them both and give John a second chance at life.